Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we will practice listening, speaking, and shadowing. If you don't know, shadowing is a method where you listen to a sentence and then repeat it after me. It helps you improve your pronunciation, rhythm, and speaking confidence in English. So in this video, you will listen to a story, understand the flow step by step, and finally, you will practice shadowing with me. Now, let's begin today's story. It is about a young girl who discovers something mysterious in her life. This story has a touch of mystery and will keep you curious until the very end. Her name was Elena. She was a 19-year-old girl with long brown hair, green eyes, and a curious mind. Elena lived in a small town near the forest. The town was peaceful, but also a little strange. People often spoke about old secrets and unexplained events that happened many years ago. One evening, Elena decided to take a walk near the forest. The air was cold, and the moonlight painted the trees silver. As she walked deeper into the woods, she noticed something unusual. There was a small wooden box lying on the ground, half covered with dry leaves. Elena picked it up. The box looked very old. It had strange symbols carved on its surface, symbols she had never seen before. She felt a chill run down her spine. The box was locked, but there was no key. She looked around. The forest was silent, almost too silent. Even the birds were quiet. She put the box into her bag and quickly walked home. That night, Elena could not sleep. The box was on her desk, and the strange symbols seemed to glow faintly in the dark. She wondered, where did it come from? Why was it left in the forest? And most importantly, should she try to open it? The more she looked at the box, the stronger her curiosity grew. She felt as if the box was calling to her, whispering secrets that only she could hear. And then something happened. At midnight, the box moved slightly. It was small, but Elena saw it clearly. Her heart raced. She stepped back, afraid but also fascinated. What was inside? Why did it move? That was the beginning of her mysterious journey. The next morning, Elena woke up tired. She had barely slept. The image of the box moving by itself was still in her mind. She sat on her bed staring at it. The strange symbols now seemed brighter, like they were alive. Elena decided to learn more. She went to the local library, the oldest building in town. The library smelled of dust and old paper. She searched through books about history, legends, and forgotten symbols. Hours passed. Finally, she found something in an old cracked book. The symbols on the box were connected to an ancient group that once lived near the forest. According to the book, they were guardians of a hidden secret, something powerful that should never be opened. Elena felt both excited and afraid. Was the box dangerous, or was it hiding something important? That evening, she returned home with the book. As the sun went down, the air became colder, and the shadows in her room grew longer. She placed the box on the desk again, and for a moment she thought she heard a faint sound coming from inside, like a heartbeat. Her hands trembled. She wanted to open it, but she had no key. The book said that the box could only be opened by someone who was chosen. The chosen person would feel a connection to the box, a strange pull they could not ignore. Elena realized that maybe she was that person. Why else would she find it? Why else would it move only when she was near? At midnight, she sat by the window, the box in her hands. The forest outside was covered in mist. The silence was heavy, almost unnatural. Suddenly, she noticed something strange. In the distance, deep in the fog, there was a faint light between the trees. The light flickered, as if calling her. Her heart beat faster. She looked at the box, then back at the light. It felt connected. She knew she had to follow it. So she put on her coat, grabbed the box, and stepped outside. The night air was sharp and cold, but the light in the forest gave her courage. Step by step, Elena walked into the misty woods. The deeper she went, the louder the sound from the box became. It wasn't her imagination anymore. The box was truly alive. Finally, she reached a small clearing. The light was there, glowing softly in the middle of the clearing. And in that moment, Elena understood something. The box wasn't just an object. It was a key. But a key to what? She held it tightly in her hands, her breath visible in the cold air. Something big was waiting for her. She just didn't know if it was something beautiful or something terrifying. Elena stepped carefully into the clearing. The glowing light hovered above the ground, soft but powerful. She felt its energy in her chest, like a second heartbeat. The box in her hands grew warm. Its symbols shone brighter, as if answering the light. For a moment, Elena thought the box wanted to be opened here, in this place. But still, there was no key. Suddenly, the air around her shifted. The mist swirled and strange shadows moved between the trees. They didn't look like people, but they weren't animals either. Tall, thin shapes with glowing eyes watched her from the darkness. Elena's breath caught in her throat. She wanted to run, but her legs refused to move. Then one of the shapes stepped closer. It didn't speak, but she could hear a voice inside her head. The box is not yours to keep. It chooses who is worthy. The voice was deep and calm, but also cold. Elena's hands shook as she clutched the box tighter. She wanted to ask questions, but no words came out. The shadow lifted an arm, pointing to the glowing light in the clearing. Elena understood. She had to place the box there. Slowly, with trembling fingers, she walked to the center of the clearing. She set the box down on the ground, right beneath the floating light. The moment she stepped back, the ground began to vibrate. The light poured down onto the box, wrapping it in a golden glow. The symbols burned brighter than ever. Elena shielded her eyes, but she didn't look away. She felt something calling her, a connection she couldn't explain. Then, in a flash, the box opened slightly. Not fully, just enough for a thin line of light to escape. It wasn't dangerous, but it was powerful. She felt warmth, courage, and something else. Responsibility. The shadows around the clearing bowed their heads as if they respected her. And then, Just as suddenly, they disappeared into the mist. Elena stood alone, the box now silent in her hands. But she knew one thing. She had been chosen. The forest, the box, the strange symbols, all of it was part of something much bigger. As she turned to leave, she wondered, what exactly is inside this box? Was it hope? Was it danger? Or was it something the world had forgotten? The mystery was far from over. Elena walked back through the forest, the box in her hands heavier than before. The mist was clearing, but the silence of the woods felt deeper now. It was as if the whole forest had witnessed what happened. Every step she took made her feel both stronger and more uncertain. She had the box, but she had no answers. Why was she chosen? What was her role in all this? As she reached the old path near her village, Elena noticed something strange. The box no longer glowed, but the symbols had changed again. A new line of writing had appeared. She couldn't understand it, but she knew it was important. When she finally arrived at the edge of her home, she stopped and looked back. The forest stood still, hiding its secrets once more. She whispered to herself, "This is only the beginning." And deep inside, she knew she was right. The box was not just an object. It was a key to something greater, something the world might not be ready for. Elena took a deep breath, tightened her grip on the box, and stepped forward into the unknown. The mystery was far from solved. It had only just begun. Now, let's practice some shadowing. Remember, I will say the sentence first and then I'll tell you, now it's your turn. Repeat after me. The forest was dark and full of secrets. Now it's your turn. Repeat after me. The forest was dark and full of secrets. Elena felt a strange power inside the box. Now it's your turn. Repeat after me. Elena felt a strange power inside the box. She was chosen for something greater. Now it's your turn. Repeat after me. She was chosen for something greater. The shadows disappeared into the mist. Now it's your turn. Repeat after me. The shadows disappeared into the mist. This is only the beginning. Now it's your turn. Repeat after me. This is only the beginning. The mystery was far from over. Now it's your turn. Repeat after me. The mystery was far from over. Thank you for watching today's video. In this story, we practice listening, speaking, and shadowing. I hope it helped you learn English in a fun and mysterious way. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write in the comments what kind of stories or topics you want to see next. See you in the next video.